Vyagghapajja Dhamma Kulaputtassa ditta Dhamma hitaya samvattanti ditta Dhamma sukhaya katame cattaro uttana sampada ආරක්ඛ සම්පදා කල්යාණ මිත්තතා සමජීවිකතාති. My dear Dhamma friends, once when the Blessed One was dwelling at the village of Vyagghapajja in India, a Brahmin named Vyagghapajja came to visit to get a problem solved. So he met the Blessed One, sat on one side, saluted him, and asked his problem. This Brahmin wanted to know the facts for the well-being of a human being in this life and in future lives. He asked this question thus: we are lay people, enjoying sensuality, living crowded with spouses and children, using costly fabric and sandalwood, wearing garlands, scents, creams, handling gold and silver. May the Blessed One teach the Dhamma for those like us, for our happiness and well-being in this life and in future lives. So the Lord Buddha explains the facts for the well-being of the human beings in this life and next lives. The Pali utterance that I mentioned here shows you the answer given by the Buddha. As you and I know, the main goal of Buddhism is to point out the path of happiness, which is the main purpose of everyone. The Supreme Buddha always describes the peaceful path of well-being of this life and hereafter. The Buddha explains his message in short or in long according to audience. No matter whether the Buddha speaks to lay people or monks, he always points out the path of liberation from suffering. Vyagghapajja Sutta, which comes in Anguttara Nikaya, point out the path of happiness in this life and hereafter. Here, Lord Buddha expresses that there are 4 conditions for the householders' well-being and happiness in this very life. They are the accomplishment of determined effort, in Pali, Uttana Sampada, the accomplishment of watchfulness, Arakka Sampada, good friendship, Kalyana Mittata, balanced livelihood, Samajivikata. These are the 4 facts conducive to a person's well-being and happiness in this life and hereafter, my dear Dhamma friends. The Blessed One explains these facts one by one later. The first one, that is the determined effort, explain the importance of earning wealth in righteous way with effort. For well-being of this life, there is the case where a lay person, by whatever occupation he makes his living, whether by farming or trading or cattle tending or archery or as a kingsman or by any other craft, is clever and untiring at it, endowed with discrimination in its techniques enough to carry it out. This is called being consummate in initiative. Then the Lord Buddha explained the second fact, that is watchfulness. In Pali we say Arakka Sampada. Watchfulness means, my dear Dhamma friends, the protection of wealth you earn hard and righteous way. There is a case when a lay person has righteous wealth, righteously gained, coming from his initiative, his striving, his making and effort, gathered by the strength of his arms, earned by his sweat. He manages to protect it through vigilance. How shall neither kings nor thieves make off with this property of mine, nor fire burn it, nor water sweep it away, nor hateful airs make off with it? This is what is called being consummate in vigilance or watchfulness. After explaining these matters, Lord Buddha goes to the third condition, that is good friendship or Kalyana Mittata in Pali. Here, my dear Dhamma friend, Lord Buddha explains the importance of the good friendship or the importance of the associating good friends. There is the case where a lay person in whatever town or village he may dwell spends time with householders or householders' sons, young or old, who are advanced in virtue. He talks with them, engages them in discussions. He emulates consummate conviction in those who are consummate in conviction, consummate virtue in those who are consummate in virtue, consummate generosity in those who are consummate in generosity, and consummate discernment in those who are consummate in discernment. This is what is called admirable friendship, my dear Dhamma friends. After explaining the facts about good friendship, the Lord Buddha began to explain what the balanced livelihood is. In Pali we say Samajivikata. This fact shows the way how to spend wealth according to income in the correct way. There is the case where a lay person, knowing the income and outflow of his wealth, maintains livelihood accordingly, neither spendthrift nor a penny pincher. Thus will my income exceed my outflow, and my outflow will not exceed my income. Just as when a weaver or his apprentice, when holding the scales, knows it has tipped down so much or has tipped up so much. In the same way, the layperson knowing the income and outflow and his wealth maintains a livelihood in tune, neither a spendthrift nor a penny pincher. Thus will my income exceed my outflow, and my outflow will not exceed my income. If a layperson has small income but maintain grand livelihood, it will be rumored of him. This clansman devours his wealth like a fruit tea eater. If a layperson has large income but maintains a miserable livelihood, it will be rumored of him. This clansman will die of starvation. But when a layperson, knowing the income and outflow of his wealth, maintains a livelihood in tune, neither spendthrift nor penny pincher, thus will my income exceed my outflow, and my outflow will not exceed my income. This is called maintaining one's livelihood in tune. In this way, the Lord Buddha beautifully explains the facts helpful to the weal and happiness of the worldly life of a clansman, and then begins to explain the facts useful for the progress of the well-being of the next life. For this, for this the Lord Buddha utters in his own language, that is in Pali. Chattaro me Vyagghapajja Dhamma Kulaputtas Samparaya Hitaya Samvattanti Samparaya Sukhaya Katame Chattaro Sanda Sampada Sila Sampada Chaga Sampada Panya Sampadati. Here in Vyagghapajja, there are four conditions conducive to the weal and happiness of a householder in his future life. They are the accomplishment of confidence, in Pali, Saddha Sampada, the accomplishment of virtue or morality, Sila Sampada, the accomplishment of charity or generosity, Chaga Sampada, the accomplishment of wisdom or intelligence, Panya Sampada. When someone comes to this level, he should have a clear understanding about the karmic law and the dependent origination or Paticcasamuppada in Pali, which is the very important understanding that a person can gain in Buddha's time. With the understanding of listening to what Buddha taught, someone who wishes to go forward for the well-being of future life and the samsaric journey can see the path he or she should practice. Here, four conditions are kindly declared to follow by the Blessed One. One's real success or happiness depends on how far he or she has achieved these qualities. These qualities are very useful for inner peace and liberation from suffering. After expressing these things, the Blessed One begins to explain these four things one by one. Firstly, he takes the point, the confidence or Saddha Sampada in Pali. According to the Blessed One, When someone hopes to go forward on path of liberation at the very beginning, he should have some kind of confidence in the Buddha's message, which is immediately effective and visible result. When someone practices what the Buddha taught, he or she can see the result. Then his or her confidence gradually increases in the Dhamma and the Sangha too. As the result of this practicing, the confidence in the triple gems highly always happens. Next, the Blessed One takes second point, that is virtue of morality, in his own language, Sila Sampada. This quality indicates the discipline in speech and behavior. Kaya Vachanang Samodanang Sila. When someone is knowledgeable in the karmic law and the dependent origination, he or she tries to control his or her speech and behavior as much as he or she can for the well-being of life. Having good discipline helps to successful spiritual life with concentration and insight. My dear Dhamma friend, after explaining facts on virtue and morality, the Lord Buddha takes the next point, charity or generosity. This is in the Pali called Chaga Sampada. My dear Dhamma friend, when someone goes on path of liberation, he or she practices loving kindness too. Then he is generous to offer something to others concerning their qualities and needs. On the path of heaven, practicing three merit, it is one of the major characters. What are the three meritorious deeds? The three meritorious deeds are generosity, virtue, and meditation. Practicing generosity brings a great happiness to whom is generous. After explaining about charity and generosity, the Blessed One goes to the next point. It is wisdom. Wisdom or intelligence, which mainly helps us to overcome suffering and attain liberation from defilement, is highly praised in Buddhism. The main cause whether we are happy is the level of our wisdom. Our real success depends on how much we have achieved wisdom. Hence, wisdom has been compared to a gem, Panya Naranang Ratana. Wisdom brings purification, Panyaya Parisujjati. There is no other bright light like wisdom, Natti Panya Samaha. Wisdom is used in several terms in Pali language, such as Sammaditthi, Panya, Amoha. Wisdom should be increased from the beginning till the end to the maximum level of path of enlightenment. Therefore, Buddhism always guides us to gain wisdom through all kinds of advice that the Supreme Buddha explained in his entire life. We usually experience through our senses, such as eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. When objects such as form, sound, smell, taste reach senses, we experience about the world. The nature of this experience is arising at the moment and instantly ceases at once. Whatever we experience through six senses, 5 aggregates arise at the moment. Also, they immediately cease. 5 aggregates are forms, rupa, feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, mental formation, sankhara, and consciousness, vijnana. These 5 things rise together and cease together. They cannot be divided. We learn them by intelligence. These 5 aggregates, 6 internal sense or external objects are not permanent. They arise with the conditions at the moment and they cease immediately when conditions separate. However, because of our ignorance, we think they are permanent. Wisdom is against of this delusion. The nature of all conditions is that not being occurred in the past comes to an occurrence. Being occurred at the present will not comes to the future occurrence. Ahutva sambhutang utvana bhavisati. It means if we experience something now, it was not happened in the past in the same way like now. The Buddha explained the theory in his main teaching that in the dependent origination like this being, this comes to be. Asmin sati idang hoti. With the arising of this arises. Imassa upada idang uppajjati. These not beings, this doesn't comes to be. Asmin asti idang na hoti. With the cessation of this ceases. Imassa nirodho idang nirujjati. Also, present experience doesn't go to the future in the same way. If somebody can understand this reality, he is ready to give up extremes about the past and the future. Also, he tries to live in the present moment, seeing, rising, and ceasing wisely with fully awareness. Understanding of this impermanence is one of the qualities that we can practice for the well-being of future lives. In this way, my dear Dhamma friends, Brahmin Vyagghapajja was made to understand the four facts which are conducive to the progress of this life, which are known as the accomplishment of determined effort, the accomplishment of worthfulness, good friendship, balanced livelihood, and the four facts conducive to the happiness and well-being of samsaric journey, as the accomplishment of confidence, the accomplishment of virtue or morality, the accomplishment of charity or generosity, the accomplishment of wisdom or intelligence. Now, you may be thinking that what is the use of learning this historical story of Vyagghapajja, who lived in the village of Kakkarapatta in India. My dear virtuous friends, the word of the Blessed One is valid for today too. Therefore, we should also practice the things which are valuable for the weal and happiness of this life, as well as we should practice the things which are valuable for the progress of next lives. To finish the sermon, let me take your time to bless you. May guardians, deities of the sky, the mountains, the forest, the earth, the lakes, the rivers, and the great oceans defend you. With grace of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, 84,000 section of the Dhamma. The holy disciples of the Buddha, may all your illnesses, fear, perils, dangers, bad omens, and misfortunes be destroyed. May you always be a cultivator of longevity, riches, glory, fame, strength, appearance, and comfort. May the triple gem bless you.